There are legends. And then, there are stories so extraordinary they blur the line between myth and truth. Imagine a man so wealthy that when he gave away gold, entire economies collapsed. A man who traveled thousands of miles across burning deserts, not to conquer kingdoms, but to share his faith and his fortune. His name was Mansa Musa, the emperor of Mali, and the richest man to ever walk the earth. But his true story goes far beyond gold. It's a tale of faith, generosity, and the rise of an empire that made the world stop and listen. Long before skyscrapers and oil empires, the heart of West Africa pulsed with the rhythm of trade and culture. The Mali Empire stretched across thousands of miles, from the Atlantic coast to the Sahara Desert. Its lifeblood was the Niger River, a winding highway of gold, salt, and stories. Caravans carried goods through the dunes. Villages thrived near riverbanks, and marketplaces buzzed with merchants from across the world. Mali was not just a kingdom, it was a civilization, rich in both wealth and wisdom. And at its heart stood a man destined to change the world's idea of power. Mansa Musa wasn't born into the throne. He began as a humble deputy, loyal, intelligent, and deeply faithful. When the previous emperor embarked on a mysterious voyage across the Atlantic, seeking to find the edge of the ocean, he never returned. And in his absence, Musa the quiet steward was crowned king. From that moment on, Musa vowed to lead his people with justice, wisdom, and devotion. He believed that wealth was a gift from God meant to be used for the good of others. Under Mansa Musa's rule, the Mali Empire reached its greatest glory. Gold flowed from its mines in abundance from Bambouk to Bure and across the sands of the Sahara. Historians say Mali produced half of the world's gold at the time. But Musa's vision stretched beyond treasure. He built cities, mosques, and schools. He turned Timbuktu into the shining center of learning in all of Africa. Traders came from Cairo, Venice, and even China, drawn not just by gold, but by the wisdom of a land where knowledge was sacred. For Mansa Musa, true greatness meant leaving a legacy that would outlive gold. Then came the journey that would make his name eternal. In the year 1324, Mansa Musa set out on a sacred pilgrimage, the Hajj to Mecca. But this was no ordinary pilgrimage. He left Mali with a caravan so vast it was said to stretch beyond the horizon. Over 60,000 men followed him, soldiers, scholars, slaves, musicians, and 100 camels carrying pure gold. Through blazing heat and endless dunes, they crossed the Sahara together. And everywhere Musa went he gave. He gave gold to the poor, he built mosques, and he supported scholars. When he reached Cairo, his generosity was so immense that the Egyptian dinar collapsed. Gold flooded the streets, and for more than 10 years, the value of gold in North Africa never recovered. The world had never seen anything like it. Mansa Musa had become more than a king, he was a living legend. News of Mansa Musa's pilgrimage spread like wildfire, scholars wrote of his grandeur, traders told stories of his generosity, and artists across continents tried to capture his glory. When European mapmakers created the Catalan Atlas in 1375, they drew Mansa Musa sitting on a golden throne, holding a nugget of gold in his hand, a symbol of the richest land in the known world. For the first time, Europe saw Africa not as a mystery, but as a realm of knowledge, wealth, and power. When Mansa Musa returned to Mali, he didn't bring back gold, he brought back ideas. He invited architects, scholars, and craftsmen to help build a greater empire. The Great Mosque of Djenné, one of the wonders of Africa, was built under his rule, a masterpiece of mud and faith, that still stands today. He founded schools, libraries, and centers of learning, transforming Timbuktu into one of the world's first universities. Under his reign, Mali became a beacon of light, a place where wealth met wisdom, and faith met progress. Mansa Musa ruled for nearly 25 years. When he died, he left behind more than gold and cities. He left behind a story. A story of a man who showed that greatness is not in what you own, but in what you give. His wealth has never been matched even by today's billionaires. But perhaps the greatest treasure he left behind was the reminder that knowledge, compassion, and faith outshine all the gold in the world. So the next time you hear of riches beyond measure, remember the king who made the desert shine with gold, and the world shine with wisdom. His empire may have faded, but his legend still glows etched forever in the golden sands of history. This was Past Unfolded, where the stories of yesterday breathe again today.